Second grade, stand up. Second grade. Second grade, here we go.
So, get up here.
Fourth grade, stand up. And 1, 2, here we go. Nice job, and fifth grade. And fifth grade, here we go. Okay, would you please rise for the national anthem? If you have a hat on, please take your hat off.
Here we go.
So good morning and welcome to Thornton School. There is no more patriotic way to start a Veterans Day weekend to have grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sing to you. So welcome. My name is Abby Silva. I'm the very proud principal of Thornton School, so thank you for joining us. I have a few boring, welcoming remarks, but they are all heartfelt, and as you can see, the patriotism is very much alive here, so welcome. So again, good morning, and today we gather to celebrate and recognize the veterans who are nearest and dearest to Matthew Thornton. We welcome our school board, our superintendent, and again, many, many families and loved ones. So thank you again for joining us. We are here to recognize you in your service. We do not take for granted the opportunity to show our appreciation in the sacrifices that you have made and the dedication that you have shown. As our students look before you today, they are reminded of the courage and the commitment that it takes to selflessly serve. Again, as we look upon you, not only do we speak about military service, but we are reminded of the many PTA parents, the coaches, the police officers, the firefighters, and a very beloved SRO. While we are grateful for the example that you set and the freedoms that your service has secured, we also humbly thank your families, your friends, and your loved ones. We know that it takes a tribe for you to do what you need to do and to serve us. We also would like to take a moment to remember those who are not here today, but we keep them in our hearts. And to our students, because I can't help it, while we celebrate Veterans Day on Monday, I am reminded of Armistice Day, which celebrated peace on the Western Front that ended World War I. When we look back to the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, we now celebrate Veterans Day on 11/11, November 11th. In spirit of appreciation and service, I ask and I challenge our students, when you're out at a soccer game or in public or at the grocery store, and you see a hat or a vest or a pin, I encourage you to say thank you for your service. Because again, your memory will live on and your service will not be forgotten. Also, oftentimes in our classrooms, we speak to a local to global context. That means engaged citizenship, if I'm going to put my principal hat on and talk about our portrait of a graduate. But what that means, and again, we have 95 examples that you will see today, it means that one person can have a profound impact in their classroom, in our school, in our community, and again, as you served the world. So thank you for your service, your valor, protection, and defense of our freedom and of our rights. You have served with courage, strength, and dedication. Please enjoy the presentation today. Matthew Thornton will always have your back, and he will always remember you in your service. Thank you.
Now our Boy Scouts are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand one more time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, members of our student council can come forward.
We are honored to celebrate so many amazing people today. Each veteran here shares one thing in common: their selfless decision as a soldier to fight for our freedom. Although we can never pay them back, we can never pay you back for what they have done for and sacrifice. We gather here today as a community to celebrate these amazing heroes. Thank you so much for protecting our liberties and pursuing our American way of life. Thank you so much for coming and have a great day.
Veterans Day is the day we honor and remember the men and women who have served in the military for our country. The people in the military have fought for our country's freedom. They fought for us so we could be safe, going places and living our lives. They made it so we could play sports and be safe. We have the freedom to vote because of veterans. On Veterans Day, we thank our veterans for everything they've done. Thank you for everything you have done to fight for our freedom. Thank you for taking the time to fight for our country. Thank you for fighting so we are safe to play sports and be safe. Thank you for risking your lives. Freedom isn't cheap, it comes at a very high cost. You make our country and community a better place. So we thank you for your service. You are heroes.
Thank you, Student Council, for those great encouraging words. Okay, now we're going to take some time to honor our veterans. For those of you that have veterans here, when you hear your name announced, you'll just stand up with your student next to you, and we will say some parts about your service that you shared with us, and we'll thank you. If your veteran is not here, and you are sitting out here somewhere, when you see your veteran called, you will just stand up where you're at, and we will honor the person that's related to you as well, okay? All right. So the first person we're going to honor today is Adam Gillingham, related to Matthew Thornton students Cameron and Braden Gillingham. Okay, Adam was a combat medic serving in the 101st Airborne, serving for 4.5 years in Korea and then in Iraq. He held the rank of specialist. He was awarded the Army Commendation Medal, 2 Army Achievement Medals, Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, Korea Defense Service Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon, Combat Medical Badge, and Combat Action Medical. And we thank Adam for his service. Albert Gerard, related to MP student Alexis Gerard. Albert served in the United States Army during World War II. He is a Purple Heart recipient, and we thank Albert for his service. Albert Gerard III, also related to MP student Alexis Gerard. He served in the United States Army National Guard, and we thank Albert for his service. Alfred Baldessaro, related to MP student Juliana Ganat. Al served 22 years in the military and retired as a first sergeant. He was part of many deployments such as Desert Storm. Today, Al is still involved in being the New Hampshire Chairman, State Federal Relations and Veterans Affairs Committee. He spends much of his free time helping other veterans get the support and resources they need. He also is the best papa to all his grandchildren. And we thank Al for his service. Andrew Granlund, related to MP student Jackson Granlund. Andrew served in the United States Army and earned the rank of sergeant, and we thank Andrew for his service. Anthony Giannetti, related to MP students John and Henry Altieri. He served in the United States Navy from 1982 to 1986, and we thank Anthony for his service. Anthony S. Ruggiero, related to MT staff member Terry Ruggiero. Anthony served in the United States Navy from May 1967 to May 1971. He was aboard the USS Oxford AGTR-1, USS Howard W. Gilmore, and the Cadmus AR-14. He served 18 months in Vietnam. Anthony was DC-3 Petty Officer 3rd Class Damage Control Man. He was decorated with National Defense Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal. And we thank Anthony for his service. Bo Butler, related to MP student Sailor and Sullivan Butler. Bo, if you guys can stand up so we can honor you, that's great. Bo enlisted in the New Hampshire Army National Guard Field Artillery immediately after graduating from Londonderry High School in 2002. He served overseas in Iraq for 13 months as an MP. In his tour during Operation Iraqi Freedom, he received multiple awards and medals throughout his service. Bo, we thank you for your service. Bobby Gothier, related to MP student Christian Walsh. Bobby served for 8 years in the Army. He passed away in 2023, unrelated to his service. He loved his nephew Christian very much, and we thank him for his service. Brandon Clark, related to MP student Stella Palmer. Brandon served in the United States Marine Corps from 2002 to 2006. He was a corporal who did 2 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Afghanistan. He received a Purple Heart along with the Good Conduct Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon with 2 stars, and the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. We thank him for his service. Brian Gunderson, related to MP student Ben Gunderson. Brian was an Army officer from 2004 to 2012, serving as an infantry platoon leader and Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2007 to 2008. Brian, we thank you for your service. Ryan Pollock, related to MT student Bryson Deckerman. Brian served for 12 years in the United States Air Force. Brian, we thank you for your service. Bruce Lewis, related to MT students Scarlett and E.J. Connor. Bruce served in the United States Marine Corps from 1955 to 1960. Bruce, we thank you for your service. Brian A. Wood, related to MT students Coltwood. He enlisted in the Army from 1999 to 2004, rank SGT E5 MOS, 11B infantryman. He served 2 tours to include Bosnia in 2000 to 2001, SFOR in Baghdad, Iraq in 2003 as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom 1. Awards include multiple Army Combination Medals, ARCOM, Army Achievement Medals, AM, various Theater of Operation Medals, and was an honored graduate of the Primary Leadership Development Course, PLDC, and we thank him for his service. Christopher Ruggiero, related to MT staff member Tara Ruggiero. Chris served in the U.S. Navy from 1994 to 1998 as a rescue swimmer and anti-submarine warfare specialist and naval air crewman on the SH-60 helicopter. Served in the Naval Reserves from 1998 to 2002. He reached the rank of Petty Officer, 2nd class, stationed in Atsugi, Japan, while making many deployments on the aircraft carrier USS Independence to the Persian Gulf and the Western Pacific, and we thank him for his service. Clarence Lafayette Moon, related to MT students Camden and Oliver Stein. At 19 years old, Clarence entered service on March 23, 1943. In September 1943, he was sent overseas as part of the North African and Italian campaigns, and he returned to the U.S. on September 29, 1944. He was discharged on August 22, 1945, and he was awarded with a Combat Infantry Badge and a Bronze Service Star. He was their great-grandfather, and we thank him for his service. Dan Dahl, related to MT student Lucas Dahl. He served as a staff sergeant with 1-8 in 3 deployments, combat in both Iraq and Afghanistan, including Fallujah in 2004. Dan, we thank you for your service. Daniel Clement Murphy Jr., related to MT student Alexander Amon. Lieutenant Commander Daniel C. Murphy was active in the United States Navy from 1955 through 1960, and then a member of the U.S. Navy Reserve until 1976. He served in both Korea and Taiwan and was deployed to Panmunjom, Korea. In 1953, during the war, as part of the negotiation team tasked with creating an agreement between warring parties to stop the fighting. Daniel, we thank you for your service. Daniel McKendrick, related to MT students Ellis and Manny Vasquez. Technical Sergeant Daniel McHenry retired from the United States Air Force in 2001 after 20 years of service. He did 3 tours in the Middle East during Operation Desert Shield and 2 tours in Alaska, and we thank him for his service. Daniel Perry, Londonderry School Research Officer. Officer Perry served in the United States Marine Corps from 1997 to 2006. After attending boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina, he attended the Naval Corrections Academy at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. He was then assigned to the Camp Lejeune Base, Brig, in North Carolina until 2002. He then attended drill instruction school and was assigned to India Company 3rd Recruit Training Battalion as a drill instructor. He graduated 9 platoons for basic training, totaling approximately 585 Marines. Officer Perry, we thank you for your service. Daniel Ramirez, related to MD students, Raiden Ramirez. He served for 12 years doing 2 tours in Iraq, one to Afghanistan and 1 to Africa. He was a machine gunner, then transitioned to a reconnaissance company, and we thank him for his service. Donald Eugene Godin III, related to MD student Vincent Ramon. Donald was in the U.S. Army from 2002 to 2013 when he was medically discharged. He served in all the latest wars and conflicts, including OEF, OIF, and OND, and more. He has now enjoyed a quieter life in Alabama, and we thank him for his service. Corporal Edwin F. Donovan III, related to MD student Anna Donovan. He served from 2006 to 2011 and reached the rank of corporal. He did a tour with the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit from 2008 to 2009. He took part in Operation Iraqi Freedom as well as Operation Enduring Freedom. Edwin earned a National Defense Award, Global War and Terrorism Award, Good Conduct Medal, Sea Service Award, and an Expert Rifleman Shooting Badge, and we thank him for his service. Eric Sansi, related to MD students Bryson Deckian. He served for 20 years in the United States Navy, and we thank him for his service. Eric Miethner, related to MD student Everly Harlow. He was a sergeant in the Air Force stationed in Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. He served for nearly 4 years. He enlisted during the Vietnam War era and was selected to play in the military band, and we thank him for his service. Evan Scott Ward, related to MD student Colt Lieutenant. He served in the United States Navy as a lieutenant, junior grade from 1967 to 1970. He was deployed in the Vietnam War with the River Patrol Force. Evans, we thank you for your service. Francis Patrick Hendricks, related to MD students Camden and Oliver Snug. At 19, and after completing 1 year of college, he entered service on July 10, 1943. Francis Patrick served in the Pacific during the war as a minesweeper. He was discharged on May 24, 1946, and he was awarded the Victory Medal and the Asiatic Pacific Area Campaign Medal. He was the great-grandfather, and we thank him for his service. Frank Lacharzik, related to MT student Nick Lacharzik. He was enlisted in the United States Air Force from 1966 to 1970 during the Vietnam War. He was stationed at Francis E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and was part of the Strategic Air Command Division, and we thank him for his service. Frank McGuire, related to MD student Madeline McGuire. Frank served in the United States Army from August 11, 1969 until February 16, 1972. He served in Vietnam as a helicopter crew chief and mechanic from January 22, 1970 until January 4, 1971. He was awarded the Army Commendation Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Air Medal, and National Defense Service Medal. Frank, we thank you for your service. Corporal Gary Wilbrock, related to MT student Bennett Wilbrock. Corporal Wilbrock served from 1969 to 1971 during the Vietnam War. He was deployed in Westpac serving as part of headquarters and infantry, and we thank him for his service. Gil J. Rodriguez, related to MT student Faith Cashman. Gil earned the rank of Sergeant E4 as part of the United States Air Force. He served 4 years, most of which was in Plattsburgh Air Force Base, New York, and 2 tours in Thailand, Southeast Asia. He was awarded the Vietnam Medal. Gil, we thank you for your service. Gina Cox, related to MT student Kayla Mahaney. Caleb's aunt Gina was a sergeant major in the Army National Guard with 35 years of service. She served in Operation Desert Storm in 1990 to 1991 and Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 to 2004. She received a total of 23 awards. Some of them included the Victorious Service Ribbon, Army Commendation Medal, Liberation of Kuwait Medal, several Florida Commendation Medals, and Humanitarian Service Ribbons for service during hurricanes and an Army Achievement Medals. And we thank her for her service. Harry Treadway, related to MT student Piper Treadway. Piper's grandfather, Harry Treadway, was a combat engineer in the U.S. Army from 1968 to 1972. He served in Vietnam from 1969 to 1971. Harry continues to be an active member in the Combat Vets Association. He's an advocate for veterans across northern New York and organizes and leads yearly events such as combat vet rides and honor plates. Harry, we thank you for your service. Jaisal K. Pregani, related to MT student James Pregani. He served in the United States Air Force at JBER, Alaska for 6 years as a pediatrician. He served as the flight commander for 1 year. For the last 4 years, he's been a flight surgeon in the Air National Guard there. He continues to travel to Alaska every 4 months for duty. He has won an Air Force Achievement Medal and an Air and Space Commendation Medal, and we thank him for his service. James Tarkin Sebastian Berwick, related to MP student Damien James Berwick. He served for 6 proud years in the United States Air Force National Guard, and we thank James for his service. Sergeant Major James Colvin, related to MT students Aaron and Andrew Sweeney. He served an extensive career in the United States Army for just shy of 27 years. He earned the rank of Grand Marshal in 2010. Throughout his years, he earned 28 military honors and awards, including Bronze Star Medal with Combat Distinguished Device V, Purple Heart, Material Service Medal, and the Vietnam Service Medal, to name a few. As part of the Special Forces and Green Berets, he served in Korea, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Honduras, Africa, Haiti, Somalia, Thailand, and the Philippines, and we thank him for his service. James Connors, related to MP students Scarlett and E.J. Connors. He served in the United States Air Force from 1951 to 1955. He fought in the Korean War from 1952 to 1953. James, we thank you for your service. James Cooper, related to MT student Josie Cooper. James served in the United States Army. James, we thank you for your service. James Legnell, related to MT student James Bergani. James served in both the United States Marines and the United States Army for 22 total years. He earned the rank of E7 and served as a missions radar specialist. He was stationed all over the world, including Germany and Panama. He retired from the military and spent his time as U.S. Forest Park Ranger, and we thank him for his service. James T. Noble, related to MT students Nora and Shelby Noble. James served in the United States Army from 2008 until 2017. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan, the first in 2010 until 2011, the second in 2014 to 2015. He is a Purple Heart recipient. James, we thank you for your service. James Lee Tebbets, related to MT students Lola, Lazy, and Layla Tebbets. Upon completion of a Nashua High School 2-time Athletic Hall of Fame career, Jim enlisted into the Army and became a military policeman stationed in Anchorage, Alaska from 1965 to 1968. James, we thank you for your service. Jared Brulé, related to MT students Callan Melrose and Eleanor Brulé. Jared did 4 years of service on the USS Nimitz, including a 2013 Westpac and Arabian Sea deployment. Jared, we thank you for your service. Jenna Nude, related to MT student Jackson Nude. She served in the United States Navy as a lieutenant active duty from 5/2012 to 6/2015 at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in the state of Maryland, working with wounded warriors. Part of the United States Navy Reserves, 6/2015 to 8/2018. Jenna, we thank you for your service. Sergeant Joe Betskoski. Related to MT students, Katya Skoski. Sergeant Skoski served 8 years in the Marines, including a tour with the Joint Special Operations Task Force in the Philippines from 2002 to 2003, and we thank him for his service. John L. Altieri, related to MT students John and Henry Altieri. John served in the United States Navy from 1943 to 1945, and we thank him for his service. John Babuzzo, related to MT students John and Nora Walsh. John enlisted in the United States Navy when he was 17 years old and became a torpedo man second-class petty officer. He was responsible for assembling, testing, and loading torpedoes onto submarines. While in the Navy, he was deployed to many different places around the world, including Cuba, Greece, Spain, and Egypt. John, we thank you for your service. John Groshin, related to MT student Emerson Rubb. He served for 6 years in the United States Navy, one of which was during the Vietnam War. He was also stationed in Greece on the USS Brownson. He achieved the rank of Petty Officer Second Class. John earned the National Defense Ribbon, Vietnam Service Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal, and we thank him for his service. John Lavoie, related to MT student Riley Lavoie. He retired in 2024 as Lieutenant Colonel after 20 years of service with multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. His favorite time in the Army was when Riley was born at the President's Hospital, Walter Reed Military Medical Center, and we thank him for his service. John Miles, related to MT student Aiden Conroy. John served in the United States Air Force from 1958 to 1963. He was stationed in Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara and overseas in naval Italy as part of NATO's Allied Forces Southern Europe. He attained the rank of E4 Senior Airman, and we thank him for his service. John Murphy, related to MT student Trent Murphy. John served in the United States Army for 6 years from 1971 to 1973 and from 1976 to 1980. He reached the rank of Specialist 5. John, we thank you for your service. Calithia Turpos, related to MT student Gianna Marulo. She entered the U.S. Army in March 1974 and served for 22 years, of which 7 years on active duty and 15 years as an Army reservist, stationed as an administrator with the 51st Signal Battalion at Camp Red Cloud, Korea. Also stationed in St. Louis and Oakland as a reservist, served as an instructor and an administrator for the 6237th Reserve Training School at Camp Park, California. She retired in 1997 at the rank of Master Sergeant E8. Calithia, we thank you for your service. Kenneth Amon, related to MD student Alexander Amon. United States Air Force, 1994 to 2014 crew chief, aircraft mechanic, F-111 Aardvark from 1994 to 1998, F-16 Falcon 1998 to 2009, and F-15 Strike Eagle 2009 to 2014. Retired as a technical sergeant. He participated in Operation Northern Watch in Turkey, Operation Southern Watch in Saudi Arabia, Shock and Awe, United Arab Emirates, and Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and 2 tours in Korea. Ken, we thank you for your service. Ken Akiyama, related to MT students Hiro and Kenzo Akiyama. Sergeant Akiyama served as a 25 Papa in the U.S. Army Signal Corps from 2003 to 2008. He attended basic combat training in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, before completing advanced training at Fort Gordon, Georgia. Sergeant A went on to serve in the headquarters G6 at Fort Riley, Kansas, and the headquarters 2nd Signal Brigade in Mannheim, Germany. Ken, we thank you for your service. Kyle Robert Olson, related to MG student Maverick Olson. Specialist Kyle Olson was part of Bravo Company 369 AR 3rd Infantry Division from 2005 to 2009, 11B infantryman. He took part in Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2007 to 2008 on a 15-month tour in Ramadan, Iraq, the most dangerous city in the world. He received the Combat Infantry Badge as a Good Conduct Medal. Kyle, we thank you for your service. Mark Douglas Iller, related to MP students Reese and Logan Iller. Mark served for 3 years as Army Specialist, first class ranking. He served in Germany as a secret security site as well as part of the military police, and we thank him for his service. Sergeant Mark Baum, related to MP student Natalie Ramirez. He served from 1973 to 1976 in 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Sergeant in Airborne Infantry, and we thank him for his service. Matthew Ingalls, related to MP students Madeline and Brooke Ingalls. Matthew served in the United States Army as a mechanic for 9 years. He did 1 deployment to Afghanistan before ETS out of the Army with an honorable discharge as the rank of sergeant. Matthew, we thank you for your service. Maurice Anthony Sutton, related to MT staff member Paula Sutton. Staff Sergeant Sutton served in the United States Air Force from 1965 to 1970. He trained in Amarillo, Texas, and was a ground crew supervisor on KC-135 aircraft. He was stationed at Pease Air Force Base in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and did temporary duty assignments in Guam, Okinawa, and Thailand. Honorable discharge in 1970. He is married to Mrs. Sutton, a 5th grade assistant at Matthew Thornton, and we thank him for his service. Michael Quinlan, related to MT student Owen Quinlan. He served from 1970 to 1973 as a Spec 4 medic. He was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, as well as Brooks Army Medical Center at Fort Sam in Houston, Texas, and we thank him for his service. Miles Forrest, related to MT student Adam Miller. Miles served in the Marine Corps from 1972 to 1976. His rank was Lance Corporal. Miles, we thank you for your service. Nicholas Null, related to MT student Shay Null. He served in the United States Navy from 2003 to 2009 as an I-2 IT2 Information Systems Technician second class. He was deployed to Afghanistan in 2006 and deployed twice to the Gulf, once on board the USS Boxer LHD-4 in 2004, and once on board the USS New Orleans LPD-18 in 2009. Nicholas, we thank you for your service. Sergeant Nicholas Thrasher, related to MT students Miles and Malcolm Lori Thrasher. He served in the U.S. Army Signal Corps in the 53rd Signal Battalion and his 1st Satellite Control Battalion from 2003 to 2009. He was posted at Fort Gordon in Georgia, Fort Buckner in Okinawa, Japan, and Fort Detrick in Maryland as a satellite network controller, which is now a Space Force job. Nicholas, we thank you for your service. Pasquale Giangolo, related to MT student Everly Harlow. Pasquale Pat Giolonio was a staff sergeant in the Army Air Force Base Unit, serving in 1942 to 1946. He was last stationed at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and we thank him for his service. Patrick O'Brien, related to MT student Melissa O'Brien. Patrick has 14 years of service in the Army National Guard. His current rank is Staff Sergeant. He has completed the following military tours: Operation Capital Response and Operation Task Force Freedom. He has earned several Army Achievement Medals and an Army Commendation Medal. Patrick, we thank you for your service. Sergeant Paul Doherty, related to MT student Juliana Doherty. Served in the United States Air Force Security Service from 1970 to 1974 in the 6th, 9th, 10th Security Group. Was the rank of sergeant and was stationed in Darmstadt and Augsburg, Germany as Morse Code Systems Operator. Paul, we thank you for your service. Paul Miethner, related to MT student Everly Harlow. He was stationed in Ellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada as sergeant, serving for 4 years. He was an electrician working on jet aircraft and crew combat missions. He enlisted in 1974, and we thank him for his service. Paul Saulnier, related to MT student Amelia D'Amelio. He served in the United States Marine Corps, born in 1947 and passed away in 2022, and we thank him for his service. Peter Conroy, related to student Aiden Conroy. He served in the United States Air Force Security Service from 1965 to 1970 as an E-4 Staff Sergeant. He was stationed both in Taiwan and Pakistan during his time overseas in the service, and we thank him for his service. Philip LeBlanc, related to MT students Eleanor and Madeline LeBlanc. Philip served in the Marine Corps from 2003 to 2010. During that time, he did 2 tours in Iraq. Philip, we thank you for your service. Richard Bull Burrell, related to MT students Scarlett E.J. Coleman. He served in the United States Navy from 1957 to 1961. He received a citation for courage and unselfish performance on joining the firefighting parties that boarded the blazing gasoline tanker SS D. E. Graham on August 7, 1958, when it collided with the SS Guilfoyle, and we thank him for his service. Richard Ducharme, related to MT students Connor and Jackson Ducharme. He served in the United States Army from 1968 to 1970 during the Vietnam War. He was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant. He received the National Defense Service Medal, and we thank him for his service. Richard Harlow, related to MT student Everly Harlow. He was an Air Force Staff Sergeant serving 1950 to 1953. He was stationed in Royal Newbury, United Kingdom, and we thank him for his service. Richard Hayes, related to MT student Amelia Taylor. He was in the 101st Screaming Eagles and was assigned as infantry platoon leader in Bamberg, Germany, to defend against possible Russian attacks through the Fudel Gap. He was an airborne unit jumping out of airplanes. He was equipped and trained with top secret tactical weaponry, Davy Crockett. He was assigned as defense counsel in a court-martial procedure which prompted interest in law and subsequent career as a lawyer, and we thank him for his service. Richard Preventure, related to MT student Jackson Dune. Richard served in the United States Army as a Specialist 5, 8/1973 to 8/1976. Richard, we thank you for your service. Robert Brittain, II, related to MT students Mackenzie Brittain. He served as a sergeant in the United States Army for 7 years. He deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 to support of Operation Enduring Freedom. In his last 4 years with the Army, he worked at the White House Communications Agency in Washington, D.C. Robert, we thank you for your service. Robert J. Palmieri, related to MT student Mia Palmieri. He was a sergeant in the U.S. Army Reserve from 1965 to 1971 in the 324th Division, and we thank him for his service. Robert McGrath, related to MT student Alana Sharmatara. Robert was a sergeant in the Army National Guard during the Vietnam War. Robert, we thank you for your service. Robert W. Perry, related to MT student Leah Lang. He served in the United States Navy from 1964 to 1968 and in the United States Army from 1969 to 1973 as military police, serving in Vietnam from 1969 to 1970 with the 458th River Patrol Boat Unit, 18th MP Brigade in Quai Ngo, Vietnam. Awards: Army Paratrooper Wings, Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, W-60 Device, and the Army Commendation Medal. Robert, we thank you for your service. Roland E. Kippy Dinsmore, related to MP students Marlo and Leona Dinsmore. He served as a second-class petty officer on aircraft carriers USS Orscanti and the USS Coral Sea from 1966 to 1970. He did 2 deployments in Vietnam, and we thank him for his service. Ross Carter, related to MT students Charlie and Edward Carter. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 2009, deployed 3 times to Afghanistan between 2010 to 2013, and an honorable discharge in 2014, and we thank him for his service. Ryan Hall, related to MT student Maisie Hall. Ryan was a member of the 101st Engineer Battalion, 51st Troop Command, Massachusetts Army National Guard from 2002 to 2008. He was deployed in Kosovo from November 2006 to November 2007 in support of the Peacekeeping Force KFOR, stationed at Camp Bonsteel under the 42nd Infantry Division. On deployment, they patrolled the towns and villages, assisted in schools and road construction, and supported the local police forces. He ended his service in 2008 as an E4 specialist. Ryan, we thank you for your service. Scott Daniel Christensen, related to MT student Katie Christensen. He enlisted in 1997 and was honorably discharged in 2004. He was activated in 2003 for Operation Enduring Freedom post the 9/11 attack on America. Scott, we thank you for your service. Scott Dow, related to MT students Emily and Ava Bailey Dow. Part of the United States Marine Corps from 1996 to 2002. Sergeant Dow served in Okinawa, Japan, Haiti, South America, and the Middle East. Scott, we thank you for your service. Scott Schilling, related to MD students Vienna Schilling. Served as a petty officer in the United States Navy from 2000 to 2004. He was stationed in Pensacola, Florida for his first year, then finished the remainder of his enlistment in Signola, Sicily, Italy. He was active duty serving the September 11th attacks when stationed overseas. Scott, we thank you for your service. Corporal Sean Plummer, related to MP student Reagan Plummer. Corporal in the United States Marine Corps from 1989 to 1993, Gulf War veteran, Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Sean, we thank you for your service. Shane Lucy, related to MP student Tyler Mills. Shane served in the United States Marine Corps from 2009 to 2013. He was deployed to Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011. Here in the rank of corporal and took part in Operation Enduring Freedom. He received the Presidential Unit Citation, Meritorious Masked, and Good Conduct Medal, and we thank him for his service. Theo Ward, related to MP student Miles Ward. Theo is Miles Ward's big brother. He is a specialist in the United States Army National Guard since April of 2021. He has traveled to Missouri for basic training and has spent the last year on active duty in Texas on the southwest Texas-Mexico border, working with the Border Patrol. Theo, we thank you for your service. Tim O'Donohue, related to MG student Charlie O'Donohue. Captain Tim O'Donohue served as an infantry officer in the United States Army from 2005 to 2010. Captain O'Donohue is a global war on terror and Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran, having earned a Bronze Star during combat operations in Baghdad, Iraq in 2007. Officer O'Donohue, we thank you for your service. Thomas Russell, related to MT student Remington Russell. Service years 06 to 10, Afghanistan 07 to 08, SPC Operation Enduring Freedom 06 to 08, awards Army Commendation with V device, Army Commendation X2, Combat Action Badge, Meritorious Unit Commendation, Army Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 2 campaign stars, an Overseas Ribbon, and a NATO Medal. Thomas, we thank you for your service. Thomas Shovlin, related to MT student Daniel Shovlin. Thomas served in the Army National Guard. And Thomas, we thank you for your service. Tom Bartley, related to MT student Bryson Deckian. He served for 4 years in the United States Navy, and we thank him for his service. Tom Burton, related to MT students Griffin Burton and Charlie and Jack Anderson. He served in the United States Navy from 2001 to 2007. Deployments include DD-989 USS Deo from December 2002 until June 2003, DD-988 USS Thornton from November 2003 until May 2004, and LSD-44 USS Gunston Hall from June 2005 until December 2005. Tom, we thank you for your service. Tom Dikoski, related to MT students Grace Dikoski. He served from 2003 to 2011, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Fallujah 2006, and we thank him for his service. Tommy Thompson, related to MT students Abby and Annie Thompson. Sergeant Thompson was in the Army Artillery for 8 years. He served combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and has been awarded the Purple Heart and Combat Action Badge. Tommy, we thank you for your service. Tyler DeLorme, related to MT students Bo and Cash DeLorme. He served from 2004 to 2014 with 5 tours in Iraq and 2 tours in Africa as an ATB Special Forces Weapons Sergeant. He was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, and was in the 10th Special Forces Group. Awards and training include 3 times Bronze Star, 1 Archon of Valor, 4 Archon, 1 Meritorious Service Medal, Special Forces Tab, Airborne School, Special Forces Sniper School, Special Forces CQB School, SERE, and a Primary Leadership Division course, and he ended service as a Sergeant First Class. Tyler, we thank you for your service. William Bill Howes, related to MT students Piper, Kane, Nora Demers. He served in the United States Marine Corps, 1st Marine Division in Korea from 1951 to 1952, earned many ribbons and medals including Purple Heart, Marine Corps Good Conduct, Navy Occupation Service, National Defense, United Nations Service, Korean Service with 3 battalion stars, and Korean commemorative medals. He is currently living in Worcester, Mass., and we thank you for his service. If we could have one more round of applause to our heroes sitting here. it's important that we always take the time to honor all those who served our country on this meaningful national holiday. Our way of life and our freedoms were paved by the sacrifices that you made on our behalf through your selfless service to our country. You are living, breathing heroes walking amongst us that deserve our honor, our respect, and our gratitude. On behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Matthew Thornton Elementary School, we thank you for your service and your sacrifice. You are loved by members of the Matthew Thornton family, and you are shining light for all of us present today. It's been our pleasure to celebrate and honor you. Thank you for coming today and being a witness to all of us.